start with Canva. Well,
Or you have, yeah, we have a few
Yeah.
things to,
we have some housekeeping. I guess let's do the housekeeping.
yeah, let's just go through how you have it.
Okay.
It seemed like a good order.
So we want to recognize December. Since we're all here together, so let's jump in and do that. I did not. Thank you. So for Austin, we have Chris Hernandez, Joseph Cardona, and Lynn. We have Chrissy who's here, Dustin and Jerry. Okay, 10th Avenue is on the way, Modern Roots. We'll see if the others come, but okay, so let's recap Monday's announcement. Going down to one office. So in January, we're not going to do any formal events here. We're going to do everything on Zoom, or out the field. But you can still come in and use the office. We just cannot guarantee what furniture will be here. Right now, we're strategizing and trying to figure out what are we keeping, what do we need to get rid of. This place has to be completely empty by the end of January. But just know, like for today, for you people here down, the second week bathroom, the faucet stopped leaking like crazy, so we just turned it off. So stuff like that we're just not gonna spend money to fix the faucet. So we are looking for a north location. It will be a lot smaller than this, obviously. We've looked at several spaces so far. I can't commit to a date as to when we'll be in that location. I kind of want to play through the next 30, 60, 90 days and make sure that things really
The sound is not great, so I think you have to be closer. We'll just sit there and.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, there you go. You're
right.
in my way.
So, main takeaway for movement of offices and everything is just pay attention to the portal. The calendar on the portal will tell you, is it Zoom only and have the link, or is it in the Buda office, or is it some other location? I have found meeting space central and north. So some of our roundtables for new agent training, we will move them around, but you guys are going to have to pay attention to the calendar to know the locations for those. Other big announcement was that Agent on Demand will be going to an 80-20 split. So those of you online and here right now, make sure you've you've signed in, so that you can sign up for Agent on Demand. And so January calendar, you guys will get that link today at 2 o'clock. You'll take a slot, one slot today, and then on Monday you can come back and grab a second one. But we're limiting you guys to 2 slots a month, and then you're going to pay us a 20%. Oh my gosh, 20% commission on those closings. But what happens is, instead of you getting the call and having to field the call and deal with all the headache of that, Keisha's going to be handling the calls and then handing them off to you guys for appointments. So yeah, it's going to be nice, because a lot of those calls are like, I need this agent's phone number, or I can't get into this listing. It's like a lot of BS calls. So poor Keisha will be taking those on for you. So that's good. Yes. Let's see, Top Producers and Movers Club, because we're going to one office for now at least. We're not going to have a distinction between any office. We're just going to say it's our Movers Club or it's our Top Producers. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Should make sense. Hello, Leslie. Any questions on any of that stuff? So my goal with making these changes, obviously, is financial savings, because this last year has been a doozy. We all are feeling the pain, I know, but I've also made the changes because I want to really streamline our resources and make it more efficient so that you guys can really succeed in the next 12 to 24 months. Right now, there's a lot of news about interest rates. They're talking about interest rates coming down. The Fed has not come out and said that, right? The rest of the world is fueling that news right now. The Fed will make an announcement today. We all expect he's going to keep rates the same today. And he may hint to reductions. I honestly am terrified that, I don't think that the reductions coming the way the news is spinning it is really going to happen. Like maybe a little bit, but not like, I read something today that said 1.5 basis points by June. Like, I really don't see that happening. If it does, that'd be great, but we'll see. My concern is that the minute he does, our housing's gonna go crazy and inflation's gonna go back up through the roof. And he can't let that happen, right? Like the whole point of this is to keep that from happening. And so I am not, I am erring on the side of caution for the next 12 months. And as a result, we're streamlining everything, saving money, cutting back costs. And if we have a phenomenal year by doing that, that's great. We will all be better for it. But my point of that is, we can go to the next slide, is that I want to make sure I provide us a brokerage that can sustain the next couple of years and then really thrive, right? So over the next year or two, we may cleanse the herd a little bit, not in our office, but in the rest of the, there's enough realtors out there for everybody. We can get rid of a few. Okay. But what I want to do is I aspire to redefine the experience of buying and selling homes in the communities we serve, ensuring that our clients are well-informed and empowered every step of the way as they achieve their unique ownership goals and aspirations, empowering individuals and families to prosper in home ownership by providing unparalleled guidance, expertise, and personalized service. That's a mouthful. I literally finished, I've rewritten this like 500 times, so I don't have it memorized yet. But so my goal is two things. One, we're going to redefine the experience over the next 12 to 24 months because things are changing and we know they're changing, right? We have commission compression going on. Our buyers have to be fully educated and understand why they need us. So we're going to really revamp our experience and how we're helping our buyers and sellers. And then we're going to make sure they're empowered and they make smart decisions. And the way we're going to do that is that we've got to be educated and empowered individuals. And my job is to support you and make sure you're educated and empowered to do so. And so I need the resources and the money to help us do that. Does that make sense? If we don't make changes and get better and raise the bar on our profession overall in general, then we're not going to have a profession in 12 to 24, well, probably like in 5 years, right? So we're not going to die like the dinosaurs. We're going to thrive. And the way we're going to do that is right now as a brokerage, we're cutting costs. We're going to get smart about how we're using our time. And I'm going to make sure you guys have the opportunity to be empowered to make sure we're serving our clients in these ways. My ask of you is to step up and embrace that education and training and do what you're doing, what we're all doing here today, which is, create a great business plan and let's attack it. So any questions on any of that? No, you guys are off. You poor people here. Okay, I feel like I'm screaming at you. Our mission statement. So the vision is like where we're headed. My mission in this mission statement has been our mission statement since day one. However, I never bring it out or share it with you all. So you didn't know about it. It was in the closet. Okay. Realty Wonder provides the fundamental tools and supportive culture to our agents, enabling them to deliver unparalleled skills and service to the communities we serve. So I always have, since day one, believed in I need a broker. I need to be the broker who provides you guys the support you need to be successful. And where we struggled and pivoted over the years is that sometimes I think this is what you need and you really need this. And then we're on this trail and the market changes, we need this, so things are changing. It changes all the time. But my commitment to all of you is that I'm always open to feedback and ideas. And we will pivot and we will change. And the great thing about the size of the company we are is that we can change things and make sure that I, again, am providing you guys the opportunity to be successful, but it's up to you to embrace it. Somebody wanted to come in.
I texted her, to Lisa and Tyler.
Okay. Okay, enough about that. So let's talk about 2024. I personally love a new year. I really did not like 2023, so I'm really excited to get into 2024. It's very rare that I get negative ever in my life, but man, 2023 kind of kicked my butt a little. So you're okay. So I just kind of went over changes from Monday's announcement. If you missed the announcement Monday, it's a recording on our Facebook hub to watch. So I recommend you listen to it. You haven't seen it yet. And then I talked about why we're making those changes in our vision. Okay, so let's go into vision board. I'm going to stop talking in a moment and let Amber drive us. We're going to jump into Canva, but let's just really quickly talk about what is a vision board and why do we want to do it. what I want you guys to do is truly believe that, you know, in 10 years, you can have a business that you can sell, right? You can build a team, you can run a brokerage, you could, I don't know, own a property management company. Like you can do whatever you want with this career. That's the phenomenal thing about real estate. I got to talk to ACC students and Johnson High School students the last week. And it's so fun to share their passion and excitement and what they see in the future. And we get into this and we kind of get jaded and we get beat down. And we got to stop and remember, you know, the potential in this career. The sky's the limit on income, and we can build our business to look like whatever we want to look like. You're all laughing, and I feel like I'm missing the joke. Am I missing something?
No.
Come on, Millie. I don't want to be a broker. Anyway, what I want you guys to do for the vision board is think about, where do I want my business to look? What do I want it to look like in 10 years? And then work backwards. Can you do me a favor? I think I'm sorry. Okay.
It's gonna be this one, Tracy.
I think I did that.
Is that one?
It or that one. I don't know. There's this board. Anyway.
We're moving out.
So, vision board. So think about big picture, right? Get excited and then work your way backwards and then conclude, what do I want to achieve in the next year? What kind of tangible results will I get from that hard work? But our vision board also needs to be very emotional. We're not going to get up and do the hard things just for the fun of a vacation or to be able to get a new car, right? We need to think about, what is the emotion that I'm going to feel when I get to take my family to Europe, or when I get to pay off my debt, or the stress relief I'm going to feel when I'm debt free, or whatever the goals are, right? So we need to think about the emotions and tie emotional words onto the board, because it's those emotions that will drive us to do the hard work, not the physical, tangible items. Does that make sense? So we're going to jump into Canva. We're going to spend like 15, 20 minutes or so playing around. I'm going to let Amber teach you all on this. I think I will just start on you.
Oh, there we go.
So why create one? Looking at images on a vision board primes the brain to grasp opportunities that otherwise could be unnoticed. And it also, I believe, helps us take action, right? So if you wake up and your task for the day says I have to call 10 people in my database, it's really easy to talk ourselves out of doing it. But if we take the time to then look at our vision board, you know, well, that's why I have to look at it, right? But that's the goal. When I do my vision boards, I've been doing it for years. You guys have heard my stories, like laminate it, put it in my shower. I usually have my business plan goals and my vision board all on the same page and beside it. Put one in your car, put one on your mirror in your bathroom, like put it in front of your desk where you work, right? You want to constantly be thinking about, what are my goals? Why am I doing this job? And then what's the payoff? What's the big picture? So play around with this vision board. We're not going to be able to get through a vision board right now. We're just trying to teach you guys how to do one. We used to do like the magazine, big corkboard, looks like corkboard kind of thing. I do that with my kid at home every January. She and I do one, and it's fun. And we used to do them in here, but it's a lot of money on magazines, and it's a big mess, and it's not easy. What I love about Canva is that you can take your vision board, but you can take your vision board and then save it and allow you to save it as a wallpaper in your phone, and elsewhere. Plus, you have amazing access to everything. Imagine, so it's just so much easier than trying to go through magazines and phone, you know, the cabin with control. Okay, Amber, I'm done talking for 2 minutes.
Awesome.
I will be back.
Okay. So like Carlin said, we're not going to go through and do a whole one. It's just so you guys can have the groundwork, and then you guys can spend some time on your own to make it whatever you want it to be. But some people aren't as familiar with Canva. So if you don't have an account, you can sign up for a free account. You still have access to almost anything that you could need. You know, there's going to be some images and fonts and things like that that you can't see or use, but the free account is still going to allow you to do what you need to do. So when you're logged into Canva, you can honestly do whatever format you want. Like if you wanted to create it so it's going to be something that you will share on social media and that holds you accountable too, you could create it as an Instagram post or whatever. But they also have templates in here Again, some of them you may not be able to use certain images if you don't have the pro account, but you can at least start here and just search for vision board as a template. And then it's going to show you a whole bunch of different vision boards that are here. So you see different sizes, things like that, different layouts. So if you just want something, so you have something that you can go ahead and just plug and play, I suggest go ahead and search for vision board and then select one of the collages, and then you can change out. If you did just want to go ahead and create one on your own, then you could go ahead. Yeah, some of these are pro for if it has a crown, it's pro. If you can't do that, then you just go ahead and create design. Let's see if it has sizing for that. Doesn't. So I can just create, and I can just make it a flyer size, like 8.5 by 11, so it's the size of a paper. You can still save it different ways as a PNG, which is just an image file. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and just do it. Well, that's a different size, but that's fine. You go ahead and create whatever size you want. You'll still be able to save it as an image and use it. And then you can go ahead and just start putting stuff on here. So if you want to start and you're adding the text and things like that, then you're going to go ahead and do 2024 vision board. And you can go ahead and throw things on here by searching through elements. It's going to let you allow to search for different graphics and pictures. So as Carlin said, we need a reference. What were some of the things that you said? Because I've done this before.
We haven't talked about the last line on there, or different categories of your life.
There we go.
So your financial health, your career, physical health, learning, spirituality, family, and personal achievement are all the categories you really want to throw on your vision board. So who wants to throw out something they want to achieve this next year?
Debt free.
So maybe dollars.
So you could even do this, and then you can go ahead and put like a cross through.
American flag.
So then you can go ahead and just like play around with stuff too. Like, I mean, you can literally do anything. The sky's the limit, so don't limit yourself. You can do really easy things by saying group. So then that's now one image. Make it smaller because we're going to put a lot of stuff on here, right? So let's say we're using the corners for things that we're going to do. So someone else throws something else out. Lake house. Yeah. So then you can start throwing images on here, play around with it, change the font, make it pretty. But the point is to get enough stuff on there and have it like thought behind it, right? So then when you're looking at it, it actually evokes those emotions in you. Because if we're just throwing stuff on here just to do it, without intention behind it, then I mean, it's not going to be motivating.
Jump over to one of the templates.
Yep. Yeah. So if you do have the pro account, I don't know if there's any that aren't pro. This one doesn't look pro, and that one isn't either. So let's just use this one. So all you're going to do is you go ahead and select it. So there is some that aren't pro. If it doesn't have the crown, you can go ahead and customize it. Someone asking a question too. Sell 2 mil next year. That's a good one. So you can even put that in font or just put dollar bills or do whatever. So let's do that. If you're wanting to change out, any of these are now images. So if I go and select and find another image, so put in. So it has like, you can go ahead and search through all of these. It's going to have different, anything that's tagged with that keyword is going to show up here. So if you wanted to go ahead and put that on there, and then you could put 2 million and yeah, photos instead of graphics because they swap out easier. So like these are all images. So if I then wanted to swap that out for another photo image and say I just want to do the dollars, then all you do is you click and hold and drag, and then you're going to drop it wherever you want. So that's where I'm going to drop it. And then you can change out and you can put other key, yeah, 2 million in sales, whatever you can. Sales. So this already has health on here, inspire. Say you're wanting to do a vacation, in beach vacation. Go ahead and find, and you can also see more here. So And we're just gonna put that in there. Very easy to use. Anything else that you want? I mean, just,
Who
You're-
else has a dream that they want on their vision board?
that's a concept. How do we envision that concept? Oh, this is,
That spot, put in.
yeah. I mean, you can use anything that speaks to you then on that. Yeah, healthy spaces. Anyone got something else?
Like a great home office,
Oh, yeah, home office.
organized home office.
Yeah. We're just gonna put our home office there. You can change the wording. Home office, make it smaller, so it fits, do whatever you want. Ooh, meditate, that's a good one. Nice, yeah, okay. Do that, just gonna meditate there. Huh? Yeah, exactly. And then some of the other ones, where we have personal achievement, physical health, learning. Learning is a good one because it doesn't just mean learning in real estate. I mean, that's why a lot of people read, right? So you might challenge yourself to read more or on other topics, or add something else to your knowledge base in real estate. Which guy? Oh, this one? Debt. No, we're crossing out debt. No more debt. Here's career, and then people wellness. I mean, that's kind of along the same line as some of the things. So wellness means a lot of different things. Meditate, people have said, creating healthy spaces, diet, you know, all of that stuff. So when you want to go and save these items, then it's the share button up here. And then you can change when you're downloading. When you hit download, it's going to have file type up here. Some of them on the free account are going to be not accessible, but you should still be able to save as like a JPEG or a PNG. Those are both image files. So that way, if you download that, then you can use that, like as Carlin said, as your wallpaper, or you can just have it downloaded and printed out too.
I'll say we have laminators in both offices. So once you're done with what I'm about to jump into with you guys, you know, print this, print your business plan, your summary business plan, and any questions? Does that get you guys on the right foot? So homework, I didn't, no, that's the last slide.
No. We need a lot of time on the business planning. It always takes time.
Then we have to have time for eating on White Elephant.
All right. I'm moving for you.
Now that we have the vision, we want to know how we're going to achieve that, right? That's the goal with the next 20 slides, whatever we're have here. All right. Amber, am I just scrolling down?
I just clicked the arrow and it's going to the next page.
Oh, it is? Okay. Okay. All right,
Does everyone
so
have these?
does anybody need those? Okay. So I assigned to you as homework a month ago to read the 12-week year. If you haven't done so, I highly recommend it. The reason I recommended this book is because in real estate, when we do a vision board business plan, we think about 12 months, and we think that is a really long time. I have forever to hit those goals. So there isn't any pressure on you to take action and get busy, especially in a market where we're usually like, we haven't been, but usually in a normal market, we're very seasonal. So we tend to think, oh, the first quarter, I'm not doing a whole lot. I'll be really busy the second and third quarter. And then again, the fourth quarter is the holiday, so I don't work at all then, right? And that's the wrong way to think. We need pressure on us so that we're taking action all the time to help us achieve our goals. But the other reason I really like the 12-week year is because we have seen so many shifts in our market between interest rates changing and home prices going up or home prices coming down, that what we planned on doing no longer is relevant a month or two later. And so I really am going to challenge you all to look at your business and say, yes, I have a goal, and we'll talk about our goals in a minute. I have a goal of closing 12 homes in the next 12 months. But that means that in the next 12 weeks, I have to get 3 under contract. I want to execute 3 contracts. So where am I going to do that and how am I going to do that? That's going to put pressure on you, and it's going to allow you every 12 weeks to assess what's working, what's not. Have rates gone down, right? I was spending time on open houses, but now I have 400 buyers because they've all jumped back into the market and it's crazy. And so it'll really allows you the flexibility to pivot and adjust your plan. And I think it's brilliant for realtors, and I wish I had done this 20 years ago, but oh well. Okay, so our portal has all of the documents we're about to go into. So if you go onto our portal and into company documents, so let me go to the portal and I'll show you. Portal, right? You're going to come down here to company documents. Then you're going to go to the folder business basics. So I don't know how to make this, like, put them in alphabetical order. I don't know. It just all gets thrown in there, but whatever. So what I have for you in here right now. Oh, Amber, where did our PDF go? There we go. Okay. What I have in there is a summary of the 12-week year from ChatGPT, in case you haven't read the book. I'm giving you a cheat sheet. Then there are 3 business plans. I didn't do my ABCs correctly, but that's okay. So there's the Tom Ferry business plan. I think it's 24 pages. There's a Realty Walkthrough business plan. It's 27 pages. And then I have an abbreviated version that is like, it's a Google sheet, or yeah, a Google, or no, it's an Excel workbook. If you guys pull anything for Excel, make sure you download the Excel file to your computer before you work on it. Working on it in Google Sheets messes up formulas and math, by the way. So there are 3 options there for an intense business plan. The first 2, Tom Ferry and Realty One groups, has you dive into analyzing how much money did you spend in 2023, what were your expenses, what, like really, really in depth. I recommend you take a day in the next 2 weeks before the end of the year and dive into that and do the full business plan. Then the goal of that is to conclude how many transactions do I need to close in 2024. What we're going to do is, because I don't want to look at this on a yearly basis, I want us to do it on a 12-week basis. We're now going to talk about how we're going to do that on the 12-week basis using the principles from the book. And then in Business Basics, I have for you an example that we're going to go through today and the actual tracker that I've created for you. Now, let me show it to you. So this tracker, I am not creative. You all know this about me. Every Excel spreadsheet I ever create for you guys, they all look the same. You guys should take this and make it your own. Make it pretty, do whatever you want with it. So for those of you in the office right now, you have a printout of the tracker. But just know it's all in here. I don't expect you all to have to look at the boring, ugly tracker. I expect you to take it and make it your own. But I just wanted to that caveat out there. Okay. So the tracker is in here that we're going to work on today, and an example, and I'm going to show you both in a minute. But let me go back to we're all over here. All right. So homework. So I just mentioned this a second ago. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I should not be writing. Okay. Dedicate a day between now and the end of the year to go big on your vision board and your business plan. There's where I recommend you use. Then develop your 12-week plan. So the first 12 weeks we're going to plan is from January 1st through March 22nd. And and what do I mean by that? That's what we're going to dive into now. Amber, I can't do this. It doesn't like you. Chrissy's helping. Yeah, one of,
now.
no, I just can't, it keeps like, I don't know if it's freezing or what.
Well, no, every time you click off of it, you have to click it again, so you, because you're not in the application. So what are you trying to go back to?
I just want to be able to go down to the next page and just look at it. Okay, anyways, 12-week year, I already. All right, first step. So using your business plan, you're determining your goal. The 12-week year says you're gonna have 3 goals and no more than 3 goals every 12 weeks. We're gonna have 1 business goal. And that is how many contracts am I gonna execute? And for those of you that are new, you may include leases in that number. So I do want you to look at buyers and sellers, like how many buyers am I gonna get under contract, how many sellers? For new agents, it's probably gonna be heavy buyers and lighter on sellers. Just because sellers tend to want experience, a reputation, a track record to get a hire. That doesn't mean you can't get sellers, it's just, it's harder as a new agent. And then if you're new and you need immediate income, just make sure you're including leases in that number, but we want 1 number for our business. You're gonna also come up with a goal or 2 more goals for personal life in some form or fashion. And we'll talk about what I mean by that in a second. The second step is you take that number of transactions, you're gonna divide it by 4, because we're gonna have 12. We're gonna run through our 12 weeks 4 times. So I did the example here. If I wanna close 12 homes in 2024, I'm doing 3 contracts every 12 weeks. And you're gonna say, yeah, Carlin, but we're in a seasonal market and I probably will close more in June and July than the rest of you. That is true, but that will be a benefit to the fruits of your labor. I don't want you to take your foot off the gas, especially in the market right now that we're in, we can't afford to. So I'm gonna make you attack for the first quarter as hard as you can, 1/4 of your goal. Does that make sense? Okay. Now that we have that number, we need to think about how are we gonna achieve this? And in the book, it's called tactics. You're gonna have no more than 3 tactics. So we have 3 goals, and for every goal, we're gonna have 3 tactics. I call them, if you've been through my training, I call your tactics pillars. So a pillar is gonna be your database. Let me go. So I have examples. So for an experienced agent, maybe a tactic is database, another one's farming, and another one's expired. For new agents, it could be database, open houses, and social media. For experienced agents, one of those better be social media. But, you get the idea. So this next slide, and you guys, you'll have access to all of this. We'll make sure it's on the portal. But here are all the pillars when it comes to real estate. A pillar is a focus on where I'm going to get leads that generate and turn into conversations, right? The end game, the total end game is conversations. We've always tried to track conversations. We're changing it up a little bit. I'm not focusing on conversations. I'm doing a little more big picture on you. But what I really want to stress is that we only have 12 weeks to achieve this in, and we can't be doing 400 different things. Does that make sense? We got to get really, really good at 3 things. So we're going to pick 3 priority pillars right now. And then maybe in Q2, I'll add another pillar, or I'll analyze and maybe one pillar is not working out so well, and I'm going to substitute pillars, okay? Or I'm going to hire staff to help me do some other pillars. Or maybe you work 80 hours a week and you can handle 6 pillars, more power to you. But right now we're picking 3 pillars. From those pillars, we have to decide what are we going to do with each pillar daily, weekly, monthly, or maybe once in that 12-week period to hit our goal. And so I'm going to go into more examples. Those are tasks. And at the beginning of every week, we're going to write a new weekly plan for that week that's helping us stay on track and achieve those goals. Is everybody following me so far? It'll make a lot more sense when I get into my example. The key to success, and the book goes into this pretty heavily, is we have to plan every week. So Sunday night, I'm pulling out my weekly planner. I'm putting on what are the tasks I have to do to achieve my tactics, or for each tactic to help me achieve my goal. But then I have to analyze how well did I do. At the end of the week, we're going to look at all our tasks, and we're going to see how many of those tasks did I accomplish, and we're going to give ourselves a score so that we're paying attention to, are we on the right track? Because if your score is really low, you're going to have an honest conversation with you And the conversation's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna be, these tasks don't fit my personality, and I'm trying to force myself to do something I'm never gonna do. So therefore, I need to change the tactic and change those tasks. Or my priorities in my life have changed, and maybe that goal that I thought was really important to me when I started this has changed, and therefore I need to change my tactic. Does that make sense? If we're hitting a high scorecard, at least 75% or more every week, then we know we're on the right track and we're making progress. But we won't know, and we don't pay attention. The biggest struggle agents have is they wake up every day and they can be really, really busy, but they can be busy on things that aren't gonna make them a dollar. So you can work really, really hard over the next 90 days and be really broke by month 4 because you haven't done any prospecting lead generation. We're not having the conversations, right? So I really am going to implore you to track and measure and score yourself and have hard conversations with yourself. And if you don't want to have the hard conversation, then join our weekly accountability. We're going to be doing weekly accountability on this, and I'll help have the hard conversation with you. So, all right, so let's jump into my example. So the first sheet, let me show you the spreadsheet really quickly. For those of you online, everybody in person, you have the sheet in front of you. But this first sheet is defining your goals and tactics. Then we're going to do the tasks, and then we're going to end up with a weekly tracker. So we're on defining our goals and tactics. We have Agent Fred Smith. His 12 weeks is, I'm going to, okay. His 12 weeks is January 1st through March 22nd. His 3 goals is 3 contracts, right? For those 12 weeks, because we're trying to do 12 in a year. So we're doing 3 contracts. And then his other 2 are, he wants to lose 6 pounds and he wants to pay off $3,000 in debt. And again, this isn't my year goal. This is what I want to do in the next 12 weeks. Everybody with me? Okay. So for goal number 1, we're going to come up with our 3 tactics or our 3 pillars. His 3 pillars are database, social media, focusing on Instagram and open houses. For 6 pounds, he's going to walk, cut back calories, and drink water. I'm starving for food. And then he's going to pay off his debt, which means he has to budget and track his spending. He's going to set up his savings account so money's automatically being saved, and then every month from the savings he'll pay down the debt. Everybody with me so far? Pretty easy, right? That's bad. But the key is, again, less is best. 3 tactics per goal, no more than that. With me? Okay. We then, and this is where the time-consuming work is going to come into play, and I'm going to challenge you all to like dedicate a few hours to this part, which is for every tactic, we have 3 goals with 3 tactics per goal, so we have 9 tactics, right? Every tactic, we're going to print one of these sheets out, and we're going to go deep into what are the activities I'm going to do for that tactic. Does that make sense? I'm now going to shrink this down so you all can see it. So this is database, and I just threw on examples of what Carlin is doing or trying to do or wants to do for her business, and I'm sharing, but you guys can make it whatever you want to make it. So my goal is I'm going to do pop-bys to all my A's in my database at least once a quarter. I'm going to do an event, a class, or a webinar to my database at least once a quarter. And those events and classes can be the ones that the company does. You don't have to do one or do the ones the company does. First quarter, what's the class we're going to do? Who knows? Property tax class. Yep. So stuff like that. Okay. I'm going to, not me, this one is not me, I don't have time for this, but I really recommend all of you attend a networking event a week so that I'm building my database. I'm getting out there and meeting people and adding to my database. I'm doing a face-to-face with an A. A face-to-face is a coffee, a lunch, a party, just visiting, catching up. If I have kids, maybe meeting at the park. Whatever it is, your A's know you, love you, trust you, right? They're your best friends until they get the real estate license. You got my magazine?
I was an A.
You were it. So,
I didn't even look up at it.
I know he bought it sight unseen. So face to face with the A's. So we're doing one of those once a week because they're referring you business or using you themselves, and we want to reward that and remind them we need more business, right? And we're teaching them how to refer us business in these face to faces. Like hey, mom, it's so nice you gave my card to Sally down the street, but Sally's gonna lose my card. So next time if Sally says, who should I use? And you say, use Carlin, just say, hey, I'm gonna have Carlin call you. And then I'm gonna reach out to that person. So we gotta train our A's on how to refer us, because they're gonna lose the card and never call. I'm gonna do 10 cards a week to my database. I'm going to email a newsletter weekly. I'm gonna have 3 conversations daily with my database, because I need to be talking to these people. And then I'm gonna text birthdays and home anniversaries, congratulations. Now you may wanna do a whole lot more than this, less than this. I don't care what it is. I'm happy to help you develop the tasks for your tactics. But everybody understand what I'm trying to demonstrate here, right? Okay. Let's try another time. Let's go into, I think open houses is next. Open houses is next. So I'm gonna hold a total of 12 open houses in the next 12 weeks. That doesn't mean I'm doing 1 a week. Maybe I'm doubling up on some weekends, but we have to go big on open houses. We have to go big on everything else. So I'm pushing it. I'm gonna preview active listings in the neighborhood before I do that open house. I'm gonna commit to doing half of my open houses that way. You know, not all open houses I have time to go preview, but at least half I'm going to. I'm gonna post on social media for all of my open houses. I'm gonna do mega signs, at least 10 for open house for all my open houses. I'm gonna door knock the neighbors. I'm gonna door knock the neighbors to invite them to the open house on at least half my open house. Does everybody get the idea? I'm laying out what I have to do to be successful with this. One more, social media. This is the worst one. Don't pay attention to this. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're gonna get with Amber on your social media tactic. No, I can help a little, but use BAM. I love BAM. Okay. Plan your content calendar monthly. Market update video monthly. To our new home community and to our deal of the week. Those 2 I'm going to be helping you guys do. Whereas a company on Fridays going to be doing some of those. So be watching for the on the portal on the calendar. But those are great opportunities to go take pictures, shoot video, do lives in those homes and get them on your social media to demonstrate, here's a great home you can buy right now with no money down. Property tax rates 1.99%. The builder's throwing in all these incentives. Your mortgage payment's going to be cheaper than rent. Those are the stuff that we need to tell the world about them. So we're gonna be working on that. Static posts, you guys get the idea. Social media. Okay. Everybody cool on that? All right. So then once we've done all 9 sheets, right? 9 sheets. So if I didn't go through tactics on weight loss and whatever, but you're gonna write the tasks for the weight loss. You're gonna write the tasks for the other 2 bills, right? Everybody get that. So we're doing lots of these. Then on a weekly basis, we're gonna pay attention and track and measure. I have, Amber, will you hold up the blue book that's over there? So they sell a planner that you can do in writing and you can do it out of the book if you want to handwrite and make it pretty and all that. I created this version, again, it's in the Google Doc. That's, I don't know, better or worse, whatever. Who knows? I personally hate loose piece paper, so you can do whatever you want. But if you want to use this one, I recommend it, but it's up to you. So at the top of your week, every planner for the 12 weeks is going to have the same 3 goals across the top, then the same 9 tactics. Oh, I didn't do tactics for paying off the debt. Okay. We all did it. The same 9 tactics below that, right? So every piece of paper for your 12 weeks, every week, is gonna, all this top stuff's gonna stay the same, right? What's gonna change is what am I accomplishing this week to hit those tactics? So you're taking the task that we just created on that previous sheet, and if it says daily or weekly, then those better be on this sheet, right? The monthlies and the once a quarter may not be on the sheet because I may not be doing it that week. Does that make sense? So on Sunday night or Monday morning or Friday, Saturday, whenever, maybe at your open house if nobody's there, you're going to sit down and write out what are the tasks that I have to get done this week. And the key to success is making sure those tasks get done above everything else. And where we go sideways in our world is that our families think we don't really work around them. And they're going to be like, Mom, come get me from school at noon or bring me lunch, or I've got my jacket, or or the husband's gonna ask you to go run errands, or we mentally work from home and we go, gosh, the house is a mess and it's stressing me out, so I'm gonna clean the house before I can do my work, right? The challenge, especially in this market, is we have to make this the priority. This is the job. This is what's gonna make us the money. And then all the other stuff can fill in the rest of the week when we have to, right? If we don't prioritize and track this and pay attention and actually execute on it, then we're not going to be in real estate in 4 months. And I don't want to see that happen. Now let's talk about giving ourselves a scorecard. As you go through your week, you're going to mark off if you did it or not. I got into a debate with myself when I was creating this. And I'm like, do I want a task? Like daily, it says conversations 3 a day. So do I want a task for 5 of those because I'm doing it 5 days a week? And therefore I'm giving myself more point opportunities? Or do I lump it all in and I either get the point or I don't? I am lumping it all in and I get the point or I don't because I'm going hard and going big. Because I'm hardcore. That's right, Teresa. Okay. So, but you do you. It's up to you, right? I'm not judging. I don't care. Whatever's going to work for you. But at the end of the day or the end of the week, we're going to say I had 20 things to accomplish. I did 15 of them and I get 75% score. So I'm dividing the 15 by the 20. Does that make sense? That's how we're scoring ourselves. Now, what we're going to do as a brokerage for you guys is starting Monday mornings, every week in January, we're going to meet on Zoom really quickly. And you're going to say, I got a 75 on my tactic for execution on contracts. We can talk about the personal ones too. But I want to know your score and I want to know, what was the struggle? How are we going to pivot? What are we going to change? And if our scores are low, we're going to talk about changing the tactic because we're clearly not dedicated to doing it, right? If we're constantly, excuses are getting in the way and we're not achieving that tactic, it's going to do things, right? It's this tactic isn't the right one for me because I'm going to avoid doing it, or I'm letting the world interrupt my business and I'm not really serious about the business. So it's one or the other, and I'm going to challenge you on that. Now, the one thing I'm not going to allow in our weekly accountability meetings are excuses. You either did it or you didn't, and I'll tell you to go back and analyze the excuse, but I don't want to hear it. No one else wants to hear it. Does that make sense? Because it's game on, guys. We're going big on this. Okay. So let's go back. Last slide. Oh my gosh, time was. We'll go through questions, but then we're gonna have Paul say hi and feed us, and then we're gonna do White Elephant inside for the next hour. And I have a game we're gonna play too. And then everybody online, you get to miss out on it. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, how are we going to support you in hitting your goals? Classes and events for 2024 are really going to be designed to help you with your tactics and hitting those tactics. So, like I said, we're going to go back to doing new home community tours together. We're going to work on listing tours to help sell homes. I'm going to help you guys with trying to find deals of the week that we can perhaps, if they're vacant, we can all go and look at and shoot videos together. More structured trainings around buyers and sellers. We're really going to go big in the beginning on buyers because obviously that's the current threat at the moment. We're going to work on that. Exposing you to more tools. So I've talked about BAM for a couple months now. I really love it. I'm going to, make sure we're sharing more of that, with more of the tools they provide with you guys. If you're not paying for it, it's like $100 a year. It's well worth it, but I know it's an added expense. I get it. Active Pipe. So there's a few of us doing Active Pipe. It's an email newsletter platform. I think it's amazing. Madonna, what do you think? It's amazing. There's a few of us, like 5 of us, that are test driving it right now. If you want to know more about it, let me know. We don't have time to do it right now, but anyways, it's something you would have to pay for. It's $50 a month. If you want it, but it's pretty ingenious. I love it. And we'll be looking at other tools and stuff, resources for you guys. And then I'm launching the weekly accountability meetings. So again, I just talked about what that's going to look like. I'll put in the OneNote as soon as I nail down the exact times on Mondays. It'll be a Zoom. It's going to be meant to be pretty quick. Again, no excuses are going to be allowed. You're going to report in. We'll learn from one another on our successes and then commit to what we're doing going forward. What I want to say. Oh, so for those of you in new agent training, I'll officially send an email out in the next week or so about this. But if you're in your you haven't closed at least 2 homes you can do the weekly accountability meeting, but you're still doing roundtables twice a month. Like those aren't going away, you're doing this. But if you're on transaction number 3, 4, or 5, I will let you stop the roundtables on Thursdays as long as you're doing the weekly accountability. Does that make sense? I think that's a good balance. Okay, so enough about that. We're about to let online go. Any questions? I know that's a lot of info that I'm cramming into you. We literally can make this a whole event all day long, but we want to play. So, let me look online. No questions. You guys are way too quiet online. That's okay. All right, we will let you all go. I hope this is helpful. I know it's a lot, and everybody now has a lot of homework, but we have